Thor Love and Thunder has now struck theaters, and boy oh boy is it a wild ride. I quite literally just saw this movie, so a lot of thoughts are spiraling in my brain right now. It might take me a minute or two to kind of piece all my thoughts together, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to go scene by scene, so you're just going to see me jump around a lot. Hey, how's it going, ladies and gents? This is Mark from Inside the Magic California, and today we are going to be talking about Thor Love and Thunder in theaters now. For the love of thunder, if you have not seen this movie, please get out of this video now. I'm gonna be talking about spoilers. You have been warned. Right off the bat, I love the inclusion of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Come on, seriously, who doesn't love the Guardians of the Galaxy? I kind of do have one particular issue with them being in the movie. It's very clear that Thor has gotten the Guardians out of a lot of tight spots. So at the end of the movie, when Valkyrie and Thor and Jane are all saying, oh, we have to do this all on our own, we have no help, I kind of can't help but think, hey Thor, remember that ragtag team you've been adventuring with all this time? The Guardians? If you would have asked them, then maybe they would have helped. It kind of plays into a larger issue that I'm finding in a post-Endgame Phase 4 world. Now that all these Marvel characters are kind of merging with each other all the time, I'm finding less and less reasons for them not to be doing team-ups in these final battle sequences. And I completely understand that from a business standpoint, it's very expensive to have these A-list actors in these movies all the time. But in Thor Love and Thunder, the Guardians were already in the movie, so I just don't really understand why they weren't there at the final battle to help defeat Gorr the God Butcher. Natalie Portman and Christian Bale absolutely killed it in this film. I don't know if you guys were concerned about this, but I was actually really curious as to how Jane was gonna get the powers of Thor, but I really appreciate the fact that they took the time to figure out a way to make that work. Jane's got cancer. She ends up getting stage 4 cancer. So Mjolnir is able to give her the powers of Thor and also fix her cancer at the same time. Well, kind of. Not really at all, actually. I really appreciate once she got the powers, she was still trying to figure it out. Like, she was still learning how to be the Mighty Thor. Asking questions, figuring out her new catchphrase. It was great. I actually loved seeing her as Mighty Thor. I'm actually really curious to see if there's going to be some sort of Valhalla spin-off based on the post-credit scene. Having Idris Elba reprise his role as Heimdall kind of made me think about that. Bale as Gorr the God Butcher. Fantastic. He was creepy. He was weird. He was terrifying. Easily one of the coolest MCU villains that we've had today. A lot of people are saying that the sword is corrupting Gorr, kind of like the same way that in the Multiverse of Madness, the Darkhold was corrupting Wanda. I really don't think that's what was happening. The sword was definitely able to give Gorr powers, but I really think that all of the intentions, all of the planning and scheming, that came directly from him. He had his own drive and his own ambition in this film. Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Christian Bale had a couple of really evil moments in this movie. Kind of reminded me of another certain evil character. An evil character that happened to be in the same movie as Christian Bale. Oh yeah. A lot of people seem to be upset about the amount of humor in the movie. They're saying that a lot of the scenes that were supposed to be more dramatic were undercut by jokes. Now, while I personally believe this is quite possibly the funniest Marvel movie of all time, I don't quite think that the humor was as distracting to the storyline as people say that it was. Ragnarok was able to find the perfect balance between humor and drama, but I also think that's kind of the point. Taika wanted to make sure that the tone of Love and Thunder was different than Ragnarok. He didn't want to make the same movie twice. I think that Taika was paying attention to the tone of Thor the Dark World. And if you remember correctly, Thor the Dark World was not a very well received movie. They leaned more into the dark and dramatic side. So I think when Taika had to decide between leaning more into the dramatic side or leaning more into the humor side, it was clear he went for the humor. As a filmmaker, I think that's pretty smart. I really don't think that the humor ever took away from the storyline. Even if the story felt a little muddy. Was Thor always able to use Zeus's lightning to transfer power into children? Was that always something that he could have done? Or was that only something that he could have done with Zeus's lightning bolt? I really hope that they make a merchandise toy of that stuffed rabbit. You know, the one that the little girl used? Thunder Bunny. When Gorr stole Stormbreaker, it seemed a little odd to me that the heroes were so casual. Like they were at a doctor's office. Then they were talking on park benches. There seemed to have been a passage of time. All while Gorr still had those kid prisoners, right? It felt like the pacing in the epic finale was a little bit off to me. Not that it wasn't epic though. The visuals in this entire movie were fantastic. Thor having to say a heartfelt goodbye to Jane. We're ending up with an adopted kid. I cannot wait to see what kind of adventures Thor goes on with his new adopted kid. That is gonna be so cool. Thor Love and Thunder, what are your thoughts? Have you seen it? Let us know. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for any and all things Inside the Magic. I'm Mark from Inside the Magic California. See you next time, guys.